I've been using this Focusrite Scarlett for about a month now, and I gotta tell you, there's some things I really like about it and some things that absolutely drive me bonkers, and I don't know why this hasn't been brought up in all the videos I watched about this. This is like the most popular audio interface on Amazon, and there are some pretty glaring issues with this that either I'm dumb and I don't understand, or people just aren't talking about this. In this video, I'm not really going to do any audio editing because I want you to hear what's coming out directly from this audio interface. There's probably going to be some instances where I adjust the gain. I'll make a note of that here so you know what is going on, but what you hear is what's coming directly out of this audio interface. So the first thing I like about this audio interface is just the overall quality and features of this are really nice. Now, I'm going to talk more about the features when I talk about the things I don't like about this, but for now, just know that it has auto gain, which is a nice feature. It's got this safe mode, so if you're clipping, it will make sure that that doesn't happen anymore. It has really slick knobs. You've got your output. You can directly monitor things. Just a lot of features. I understand why people like this because the features and the overall quality of this are just really nice. Now, the second thing I like about this is that it does come with software and you can control it with the software. I don't care for that. What I do care about is you can update the firmware. So in the future, if Focusrite makes some better improvements, which I will talk about some improvements I want to see, you can do that through the firmware. So that is a really nice thing about this audio interface. And lastly, and probably the thing I like the most about this audio interface is just the gain. You can set it really high. So it doesn't matter what XLR mic I use. I have a lot. I cycle through them all the time. The gains on each mic are very different. Some of them are very low, so I need to crank it up. I can do that in this audio interface. Just to give you an example of what I'm talking about, let me crank up the gain, and you can see it's turning red. It's clipping. I'm sorry, this sounds horrible, but the gain on this is impressive. Testing, 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 testing. So there is a lot to like about it. I understand why people like this. Now, here are the things that drive me absolutely crazy with this. The first thing, and a cool feature that I want to talk about, is this auto gain feature. So before I press this, let me just tell you what it does. If you press the auto gain feature, you talk into it, it will say, oh, this is the gain level I want to adjust things to. And then it automatically adjusts it to the right level. So if you have your mic far away, close up, doesn't matter, just press the auto gain feature and magically you're going to have the gain you want. But the default level of the gain is really low, and that's what bugs me. So let's go ahead and press this. Now I'm just going to talk like normal. You'll notice that the gain is really low. You can barely hear anything, and then it's going to adjust and it's going to say, okay, we figured out what the gain is. Magically we have the gain level that we want. But this is not the gain level I want. This is way too low. If I wasn't adjusting anything here, you would not be able to hear me very well. I have to make adjustments. So that's crazy. So now let me bump this up again to where you can hear at a more normal level. And I'm kind of going blind. I just have to guess. There's no actual level indicator here other than seeing the orange or red. So as cool of a feature as that is, it's useless to me because I still have to bump up the gain anyway and just manually adjust. The second thing I don't like with this is the other feature. It's the safe feature. So before I press this button again, what this does is if you are clipping, it's going to say, hey, you're clipping, we're going to bump down the gain. But the problem with that is, say you're doing a recording just like this and I cough or I sneeze, it's going to be like, oh, let's bump the gain down, but it bumps the overall gain down and it doesn't bring it back up. So notice what happens when I press this. So right now I'm safe. I'm not clipping. It's fine. Everything's fine. But if I sneeze like, achoo, 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 achoo. Okay, great. It brought the gain down for me. But now the gain is way too low. Now I'm talking normally and you can't hear me because it took the gain all the way down. So now I have to adjust again. So let's bring the gain back up manually and turn off the safe mode. Testing 1, 2, 3. So yes, the safe mode is preventing me from clipping, but then it's also bringing the gain way down. So now in post-production, I have to bring it back up again. So it's just more work for me. I'd rather just eyeball my gain levels, make sure I'm not clipping. To me, it's a completely worthless feature. What I'd really like to see from Focusrite is to enable me to say, this is my preferred gain level. So if I press the auto button, I want you to go to this gain level. Or if I'm clipping, then make sure that my audio doesn't exceed this gain level. But as is, these features are totally worthless to me. But the real big kicker, and the thing I really don't like about this Focusrite Scarlett 2, is by default, if I'm only plugged into one mic, it's only going to be on the left channel. Let me show you what I mean. All right, so let's have a look at this Focusrite. I have it set to one channel. By default, it's going to be set to two channels. It's just on the left side. So if I want mixed down audio, I have to go audio sounds normal. Now you might not think that's a big deal. You just have to go into your computer settings and change the channel. But every time you restart your computer or disconnect the audio and reconnect, you are going to have to do that. This has cost me so much time. I have recorded so much audio just to realize it's only on one channel, and then I have to manually mix down the audio so that it sounds normal. Now maybe the Scarlett Solo doesn't have this issue, and maybe I'm just dumb. Maybe there is a way to do it on this so that it's not only coming out of the left ear, and maybe this is what any good audio interface does, but I think this is absolutely ridiculous. This has wasted so much time for me. So if you're thinking about buying this and you just want a simple setup where you have a single mic and you're talking into it just like I'm doing now, you need to be aware that you're going to have to deal with the audio only coming out of one channel unless you manually set it every single time you use it. Yeah, so that may not be the most positive review of the most popular audio interface on Amazon, but I'm just surprised that for how popular this thing is, I have struggled with so many issues with this. I really like the quality, and overall the gain is fantastic, but I've had to work with this thing so much, I don't know if it's worth it. I hope this video helped you. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.